This case arose from a federal police officer who really seems to have had a ridiculous brain fade at the worst possible moment. He had been part of an investigation into the movement of drugs within Australia, and this led him to intercept a suitcase which was being loaded on a long distance bus from Brisbane to Melbourne. A quantity of drugs was found, and a person was later prosecuted. During that prosecution, the defence asked to see the search warrant allowing the search of the suitcase. Now, at law, no search warrant was actually needed and none had been obtained, but in a moment of stupidity, the officer falsified one. It all came unstuck, and the officer was charged under Section 72 of the Commonwealth Crimes Act, under which an offence was committed by any person who, being a Commonwealth officer, fraudulently and in breach of his duty, makes any false entry in any book, record or document. The question which came before the Queensland Court of Appeal related primarily to the meaning of the word fraudulently. Fraudulently is an odd word because often its use is limited to circumstances where the fraudster is obtaining an advantage in terms of money or property, or the victim being deprived of one. The criminal offence of fraud is not simply being dishonest, it's doing so in order to obtain an advantage. And yet, in a more general sense, something might be considered fraudulent if it's merely dishonest, which was intended here. Justice of Appeal Macpherson, with whom the other judges agreed, found that there was plenty of authority for the distinction between fraudulently, which just means dishonestly, and intention to defraud, which indicates a desire to obtain a benefit in the way of money or property from being dishonest. He said there is a good deal of authority to show that fraudulently in legislation creating statutory offences is often used to mean no more than dishonestly, and that it is not, or not necessarily, confined in meaning to depriving someone of a right or advantage. This has now become authority in Queensland law. Any offence that refers to conduct being undertaken fraudulently means no more than undertaking that conduct dishonestly, whether the dishonest person is seeking to obtain a benefit of money or property or not.